Hey. It's evening here. My wife is gone. The kids are asleep, and I hope that that stays like that. uh, and I want to do some coding this evening. I don't know who's here. No one. Or yeah, I should probably do like a social media thingy. Hang on. Here we go. Share it on the Discord. Let's build something with Tempest. Like this. There we go. Hey, Yogesh and Samuel, you're here. Nice. We're gonna do something cool. So yeah, it's evening here, but that's all fine. Let's just let's get into it. Like there's one thing. Okay, so there's one thing. If one of my kids wakes up, I have to like go. I don't know, put them back to sleep, and then I'll be back. I'm not saying that it will happen, but it might. So just wanna give you a heads up there. It's also pretty warm here. That's nice. Sorry. I'm a noob streamer. Yep. Let's just act like it's all fine. No. So what I want to do? Okay. I want to build a simple, like the simplest one pager imaginable, but I want to overcomplicate it, and I want to build like event sourcing from scratch with Tempest for a one pager. Let's just start with it. I'll explain a little bit while I'm going here. So I'm writing a book, as you might know, and I want to build a landing page for that book. It's called Timeline Taxi. And what I want to do with event sourcing is, let's see here, composer, create project, dev main, and let's say timeline taxi web, something like this. Yeah. And then we'll say open project. Is this the right one? Yeah, I think so. Let's see here, timeline taxi web. Yes, new window, that's fine. Okay, and let's see like how long it takes us to build something. We're gonna run npm install, and then we're gonna run npm run dev, and that should be it. Oh yeah, I'm doing that within the terminal here. Oh, it takes a while to run npm install. That's weird. Okay, npm run dev, and then we have timeline taxi web.test, right? That should be the URL. Yeah. Okay. We're all set. So this is our Tempest. Let me see here. Resource root. This is just our basic Tempest project here. We have a home controller. We're gonna move some stuff. Let's say web over here. Let's move all of that. Yes. Refactor. Blah 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 blah. I think actually I have to like change this over here. And like these errors. No, mute, turn off. I don't know why this happens. It's annoying. Yeah, sure. Hang on a second. Oh, this is, hang on. Composer.json. It's alpha 2. I need dev main. Didn't I specify that? Composer up. And let's actually copy over .env.example from the framework here, because that's not env. Yeah. Okay, this is better. So cannot declare because the name is already in use. That is a Tempest app web. Okay. I was a little bit too quickly, I think. Hey Brent, where's the hat? No, it's like it's evening and it's like almost freezing outside, but over here it's super hot. So I don't know. It's my it's just my hair today. I'm sorry for that. No cool hat thingy. So, okay, we have a home controller. So the idea here is, like, look, we're going to, is npm running? Yeah. Timeline taxi. I'm just gonna do some like very basic setup here. It's gonna be a dark website actually, BG black, I guess. Text white. You'll be able to experience like my super hang on. I need to package.json. Web like this. That's weird. When I do this on my laptop, it actually changes the yeah, okay, this is good, but it's okay. It changed this path automatically, and right now it didn't. It's a bit weird, but that's my baby monitor in the background. Yeah, I need a couple of things here before I can get like started with like the cool stuff. Grid gap 4 is my guess, and then over here I want like the first what's book.test, the first paragraph. Yeah, like that. Okay. Maybe some more max width, let's say 600 pixels, padding 4, and then yeah, that's good. Let's add some more padding here. Class equals padding 2 maybe. Yeah, okay, cool. This is just a page. Okay, I'll like think about styling off stream because I don't want to make you suffer. But like the idea of this landing page is that like there will be just a link to Amazon basically, and I don't know, something. Still have to think about this. But what I want to build is a like analytics kind of setup here with Tempest, which is event sourced because it's just cool, and it means that like I can create new interpretations of the stored events later down the line, right? So at a very basic, let's say analytics, something like this, and we'll say a page visited. This will be an event, right? Public string URI. Okay, so whenever a page is visited, we'll dispatch an event and we'll store it somehow, somewhere. Okay, so we want to dispatch this event whenever we like visit the page, and that can be done with a middleware. So let's create a page visited middleware, I guess. It should implement HTTP middleware. And what I like to do, I don't know if I want to keep this in Tempest, but I like middlewares to be able to register themselves, like, and which is like totally possible in Tempest. You don't need service providers. You can just like make any. You can basically listen for the kernel booted event. So register. Let's say. I'll answer your question in a second, Yogesh. Hang on. So let's say event handler. I'll say kernel event booted. So this method will be run on kernel booted, and then we'll say this router add middleware self class, something like this, and that basically means that we can, whenever we end up like this should in theory just work. Okay, yeah, it works. Good. So this middleware is now run every time return next week, like for every page basically. let's nothing happens, of course. I'll log something hi from middleware, and let me say Tempest tail here. So yeah, whenever we like visit the page, we go through this middleware. That's what we want to see. So Yogesh, what are we doing? We're event sourcing things. Okay, maybe I should explain a little bit what event sourcing is about if you're not aware of that. Event sourcing is a technique where you're like using a event-driven system. So basically everything is modeled with events. Events determine the flow of like everything basically. But the thing with event sourcing is that you're, instead of just dispatching events and handling them, you're going to dispatch events and then you'll store them in a database. And whenever you do that, it means like you have a trail of all things that happened on your website if you model everything with events. And that's pretty cool because it means that you can make new interpretations of those event streams down the line. So in this case, we're going to keep track of a page visited event, right? Because I want to do analytics on it. And for now, oh, I forgot something. Date, time, immutable, visited at equals new date, time, immutable. Yeah, we need this as well. So basically, we're going to store this event in the database every time like a user visits the page. We're going to store an event in the database, and then afterwards we can do whatever we want with that data. Right? We have just a historic log of all the visits that happened on our website. For example, if you want to determine like how many visits happened per day, we can just make a new interpretation of that event stream. Projections, I'll come back to that in a second. If you want to say like per month, for example, you can make very optimized views for very specific questions. That's basically the upside of event sourcing. But I'm gonna try to implement it all here on stream within the next hour, so we'll see if it works. It will depend on how much I get distracted by chat as well, because hi Ormuzar, hello bro, how can I get your IDE team? You can go to github.com/brand and then you'll search for, it's called something like light, PHP Storm Light team. That's the team, the one I'm using. Yogesh here on YouTube, also like user journey kind of thing recorded as events. Yeah. I don't know what you mean with journey, but yeah. Joris on Twitch, how do you control the order of the middlewares? Joris, that's a very good question, and I'm going to ignore that for now. No, it's not possible with what I'm doing here. We actually do want to add a way to like determine how middlewares get added from this method here, from add middleware. For right now, it's not possible. What you can do is create a config file and then just provide the array of all middlewares to like manually control the order. But in this case, it doesn't really matter when this middleware gets executed. And I would say like in good design, middleware order shouldn't matter, because that's like implicit dependencies that will basically mess up whatever is gonna happen. Like I don't like that, but yeah, anyway, it's a good question. It's a really good question. So the next thing we want to do here, like for every page visit, we want to dispatch an event. So that's just event new page visited, and then we'll say request get URI, basically, right? And our visited add is datetime immutable. Okay, so very like non-event sourced approach here. Let's say we create a page I don't know what a good name would be, handler, page event handler, something like this, page events handler, I don't know. Anyway, the method will be called onPageVisited. Doesn't really matter what this method is called by page visited event. Let's mark it as a event handler like that. And now hello from event, right? And we'll dump the event as well. So if all goes well, we refresh here. Yeah, and we say hello from event, and then we have our page visited event. So it has the URI and it has the visited at timestamp. Okay. Which, yeah, it has the wrong time zone because it's 2 hours later for me. That's all fine. That's all fine. Okay, so the next step that we want to take is to store the event in the database. And for that, I'm going to use an SQLite database, you know. And let's see here. Question on YouTube. How does it work with the event handler kernel event booted? When and how is it executed? By which process? Using the reflection API. Okay, so if we go to the kernel here in Tempest, and we check the boot method, where am I? Yeah, oh yeah, it's in the constructor. That's actually pretty bad design. No, so whenever Tempest is booted, so basically, like if you go to index.php here, HTTP application boot, that's gonna boot the kernel, right? There are some layers in between, but it's gonna boot the kernel, and booting the kernel involves these steps like loading environment variables, registering shutdown function, and so on and so on. And then at the very end, when everything is done, we dispatch an event, kernel booted. And that's basically just getting the event bus and dispatching the event. That's it. So, and then from there on out, like the way Tempest works is with discovery, and it just knows, like whenever you have this attribute here, it knows it should execute this method here. And like the kernel booted event is used to hook into the framework to do stuff before all our code is like executed. That's that's for these kinds of things. Okay, so we dispatch our event, and now we don't just want to like do something with the event. We want to actually store it in the database. Okay, so we're gonna have to do a couple of things here. What I want to do is database.config.php. Let's say return new database. I want to like configure my database path here. It requires a connection, and that should be a new SQLite. We're going to use SQLite connection, and for the path we'll use let's say dir. Yeah, it can just live like over here. Database.SQLite. It can be in the app folder. We're going to add it to git ignore app/database.SQLite. Okay. So that's that. Let's run our migrations. Migrate fresh. Okay. So that's our database over here. It uses some Tempest comes with a couple of migrations out of the box for users and permissions. Those will be optional in the future, but not now. Work in progress. It's a work in progress framework. But we have our database here with our tables, and they're empty, of course. Only the migration table contains the migrations. That makes sense. So let's add a migration here for I don't know where I want to store it. Let's just say like stored events, something like this. Let's say we have a model stored event. This is going to be our like database model. Database model. No. We'll use is database model like this, and then we need a way to store. Kobe, are you here as well? That's my brother in chat, I think. Are you my brother, Kobe? He doesn't know a thing about programming. I don't know why he's here. But yeah, okay. Stored event, what we want here is, yeah, it's just gonna be an object, right? It's gonna store an event, and we're gonna need to serialize and deserialize that. But I know how to do that. Actually, it might, there might be, yeah, no, I'm pretty sure there's a feature missing. Okay, let's do payload over here. And then we'll say set event will be object event. Hey Koba. This will become clear in a second. Get event will be an object, right? And then we'll say this payload equals. We're just gonna use serialize. What's the problem here? Cannot read only. We need to remove read only here. And then we'll say return unserialize this payload, right? And then return this. Yep. Okay, so there's a way to do this much more cleanly, but it doesn't work yet. So anyway, yeah. But that's fine. So now we have a way, like we have a model to store our event in the database, but we still need a table for it. So let's also create a stored event table, right? And this implements migration. We'll say return for the name. Let's just say 0000000. Create stored events table like this. And then to create it, we'll return create table statement for model stored event. Now we need to actually add some columns here. Primary, that's just the ID. And then we'll say, actually, we need a UID, I guess. And there's no support for UID. Is there support for UIDs? No. Doesn't matter. Let's ignore UIDs for now. And then we'll say a text will contain our, it will be our payload, right? And I guess we can also add like date, time, created at. I think it makes sense to date, time, immutable, created at, and we'll assign default value here. Just the time of now, right? Okay, so if all is well, actually migrate fresh. We have our stored events table now, so that's good. Let's refresh this here. Stored events, yep, it's empty. So the question is, how do we get our event, like our let's say analytics here, our page visited event, which is, it's just an object. How do we get it as a payload into the database, right? How should we do that? Well, I have an idea. Bear with me. There's something really cool. This is the cool part. This is the part what I was excited about because it's super. In theory, it should be super easy. Stored event middleware. So I already showed we have like this. Where was it? Oh yeah, here page. I had it selected. Page visited middleware. This implements HTTP middleware. So this goes in between when a request comes in and when it's handled, right? That's where this goes. But we also have middleware for our event bus. Event bus middleware like this. And it kind of works the same. So let me actually do that self-registering thing here, private event bus, call it event bus. And I will say register, doesn't matter by the way the name, it's just something like makes sense to me. Handles event handler, we'll say kernel event booted, right? And then we'll say this event bus, oh, hang on. I cannot add middleware here. Oh, that's just yeah, stupid, like an oversight, I guess. Okay, let's just do it with the config approach then. It's not really an oversight. This is where yeah, it is an oversight. Okay, doesn't matter. Let's say over here, well, let's add it in the root here. So eventbus.config.php, kind of the same. Return new eventbus config, and let's see what's handlers middleware is what we want, and over here we can add our stored event middleware class, something like this. And so whenever an event is dispatched, like there are so many steps in between. I like the video title said it was going to be super complicated for no reason, right? But it's gonna be cool. Like if it works, it's gonna be cool. Let's see here. We're going to not return. We're going to say next event. That's just kind of the same, but an event middleware doesn't return anything. It's one way direction. Over here, let's log something hi from event middleware. Let's see if that works. Yeah, we have our log open here. Let's just refresh. And hi from event middleware. Yeah, it definitely works. And we also have our event handler still over here. I'm gonna rename this page visited handler, and then I'm just gonna make it invoke. Does that work? It should, right? It should. Yeah, okay. Not gonna remove that for a second. So hi from event middleware, that works. That's cool, right, Yassine? That is cool. It is cool, but it's like we're nowhere yet where I want to go. Hang on. So we have a way to hook into our event bus, right, with the middleware. Now we can do whatever we want here, and we can, while dispatching the event, store the event in the database. But we only want to do that if the event implements an interface. You don't want to do that for all events, probably. So let's say should be stored over here. It's just an empty interface. Or maybe we could add like get payload on this and restore from payload or something. Serialize, unserialize. That could be good design actually. So that we don't have to do this here. But I don't know yet. We'll see. So we have our page visited event here. Let's implement should be stored. And then over here, what we can do, if event instance of should be stored, then we'll actually store it in the database. And how do we do that? Well, we'll say new stored event. This is a database model, so payload. Yeah, you know what? I need to refactor this. It's going to be much cleaner. Serialize string, and then static function serialize self string payload what's the rename to? No, unserialize. It's fine. Unserialize, yeah. Save it to the dictionary, please. Okay. So our page visited events should now implement these methods. We're gonna say, actually this is nice because now we don't have to just serialize the object. We can just say return JSON encode, for example, URI, this URI, and then visited add format C. I don't know what C does, but ISO date. Yeah, that's fine. And then unserialize will return new self. Can I say page visited? URI is data, yeah, something like this, and then data URI, and then visited at. Let's remove let's do it like this. New date time immutable. You know, you could do this in a trait, of course, but I'm hard coding it for now, just because. Okay, so we have this, then we can remove all of this, and then we can say just static constructor for event, and then should be stored. Should event, and then we'll say return self payload equals event serialize, like this. Okay, this is a bit cleaner, right? And then we'll say stored event for event, and then we'll say save. And that's it, I think. And what's the problem here? Let's disable PHP stand. Okay. Okay, will this work? Nothing happened. That's already good. Let's refresh. Stored events. Let's check, and it's over there. It's in the database. So the next time we refresh, refresh. Yeah, there's another event here. Cool. With like the right payload. Okay, that's the first step. There's like, how many steps are we taking just to write a single line to the database? But now comes the real cool part. Well, like this is also a cool part, isn't it? Don't you think? It's like super simple and it just worked. Like event bus middleware is super cool. Something that I don't think Laravel has. Does Symfony has it? Symfony event bus middleware. No. Maybe with 10 steps in between. Laravel event bus middleware. I don't think it has middleware. No. So anyway, I'm happy with this. Now we need a couple more things to happen, right? But our like dispatching events that should be stored in the database works just fine. Okay, we're going to ignore the database for now for a second, because we also want to build our like projection is like the term here. Let's see here. We have a page visited event, and we want to maybe keep a report in the database in a table like visits per day, something like that. So we're gonna make a model for that, and then we're gonna do some things. Okay, so visits per day, right? Yeah, implements database model. Use is database. Okay, and so this is one row in the database, so it has public int count or visits, I don't know, visits, and then public date time immutable date equals new date time immutable. Actually, can we have like, I've never used date. I don't think PHP doesn't have built-in date, right? No, date. No, it doesn't. But that's fine. So this is our visits per day model here, and we need a migration for it. Yeah, that's kind of a bit of boring. Create visits per day table. You know, we do plan on making make commands for Tempest to make all of this a little bit easier, but yeah, for now, return. Now I'm actually gonna use like the real date here, 10/24 01. Create visits per day table. Okay, return create query, create table statement over here for model, and then we have visits per day, let's add some rows here. Primary key, and we have a date created. No, just day. What did I call it here? Let's call it day. Or let's call it date. I don't know. Date. And then we'll say what else did we need? Oh yeah, integer, the name equals visits. It's unsigned. True. Okay, like that. Let's see. Let's migrate fresh. Oh, there's an error. I know what the error is. Okay. So create visits per day table is here. Yep. Okay, and now I actually need to. I want some dummy data here. So let's say support, and then let's say the seed command. So Yogesh, you're asking why visits per day again? Can't we infer from earlier page visited event? Definitely, we can just do that on the fly. But here's the thing: imagine that this book that I'm writing, it gets millions and millions of page views, and you like over time you don't want to do like these queries on all this data in real time. You just want to know how many visits were there per day. And so we're going to pre-calculate all of that. And the next time we want another report, for example, visits per month, we're going to pre-calculate that. Visits per year, visits per, I don't know. We're only keeping date now as a data point, but we could maybe, I don't know, keep track of the country of the visitor, something like that. I'm not going to do that for privacy reasons, but yeah. So use has console here. Seed is a console command. Let's say it's called seed, and then let's just say this is very rough. This should be built into Tempest, and it's not yet. So we're going to, for each we're gonna simulate 100 page visits. So new page visited, and then the URI will be URI home controller, right? And then let's do it like this, and then the visited ad will be new date time immutable, but instead of now we're going to say offset equals random, something like this, and then I think we can do minus offset days. Should that work? Like 0 or 5 days in the past. Let's see if that works. Oh well. Migrate fresh, and then we'll say seed. Okay, we should probably this success done. Okay. Seeding done. And let's refresh here, and now if we go to our stored events, yeah, there are. And are the dates like? No. This didn't work. Then how do you PHP date time immutable? I know there's something you can do here. Hang on. Daytime. Yeah, now minus days. I can also do it like this. I know this works. Subtract new date date interval minus offset days. I think that should work. This is a bit weird. Uh-oh. No, it doesn't work. Unknown or bad format. Does it work if there's... No. Maybe it's PT minus and then the offset. Nope. And maybe it doesn't work with 0. Nope. Ah, come on, PHP. Why? Hang on. And PHP subtract days from date. Come on. How do you do that? Oh yeah, no, I'm already using sub over here. Oh. And then it still fails. PHP. Modify. -1. Modify. Come on. Minus offset days. Nope. Failed to parse time string. There's a... Okay, now it's gonna work. It worked. You were missing a space, add period P1T. Well, I don't know. This is... I should use carbon, basically. But does it work, actually? Let's see here. Stored events. No, it doesn't work. Come on. Why doesn't it? Hang on. Page visited at. Ah, no. I understand. No. I should look at this. Yeah, it does work. It does work. Here, the payload is over here, of course. This isn't. But actually, I'm going to keep them in sync. No, I can't. But what I can do. No, it doesn't really matter. This is okay. This is okay. Evening Sobachi, I think. Can you modify immutable? No, yeah, you can. It's not going to change the original object, but it's going to create a new object, right? And that's what we're going to store into visited at, right? Got it. So we have some, totally forgot about this. Okay. Now we have some data over here. And so what's interesting is we have our stored data here, and now we want to build a projection from that data, right? And I hope I can explain. I know what I need to do, but I hope I can explain it in a way that makes sense. Okay, so back to our analytics here. Visits per day. We already have that, right? Yeah, okay. So how do we fill these visits per day? How do we we have this? Let's just say we already have this data and we added visits per day as a model later, and now we want to reflect. We want this table to reflect the state, the up-to-date state for all events that happened in the past. That's the power of event sourcing, right? So let's say replay command. We're gonna have to replay all the events that happened in the past, right? And I don't know. I know how I can hard code it here so that it works, but there are a lot of intricacies here for performance reasons and stuff like that. But I'm kind of gonna ignore them for now. Len in YouTube chat, totally off topic. Where did you buy the colored pop filter for your shirt? I don't remember. I don't know. But it's the same. It's like the PHP annotated color, right? Or close to the PHP annotated color. It was just one of the. Can you see? it's purplish, like kind of the same as over here. Anyway. Replay command. Let's say this is a console command. Yep. And we're going to say the name equals, or just do it like this: replay event replay, something like that. So what we want to do here, and there are going to be performance issues. That's one of the things. Like there are, yeah, I'm just gonna, like, we're gonna hard code something that works, and then we can think about how to improve it. And there might actually be some limitations with Tempest now that makes it so that we can't really improve it all the way that we want to. But it's fine. That is fine. Events, replay. So when you replay, does it replays based on the time events happened? Like in the thing I'm gonna write right now is I'm just going to throw away all projections, and then I'm going to like replay all events for all projections. That's what's gonna happen. First, I'm gonna just replay stuff, right? And then we'll like worry about resetting. Okay, so throw away old state, replay events to build new state. Okay, so we need to gather all the events. So I think that should be stored event all. That should be it. And now we're getting into like Tempest events replay. We're getting into like yeah, the ORM territory that's not really optimized, but okay, we can get all our stored events, and they should, hang on, query order by created at descending, and then we'll get all. Yeah. And it should actually be ascending, because we're gonna like loop from the start and then build our state, replay everything from the start. Okay, so this already is like a huge performance issue. Like I have 100 events. What if you have like millions, which happens in event sourced systems? We're gonna ignore that because there's no chunk method here, basically. That's what's missing. So yeah, we're just gonna act like this, and let's assume like my book won't go viral. I think that's a fair assumption to make, actually. So for every event, now we need to replay every event for every projection, is what I call it. So we actually need a list of all projections. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna add another interface here, projection, right? Visits per day implements projection. No methods for now, I think, but we need to know like where are our projections. And something cool here, Tempest stuff, of course, projection discovery. If you don't know what discovery is about, it's like the coolest, one of the like the major features of Tempest. So if a class implements projection, yeah, we're gonna discover it. Cache payload. Actually, we also need a let's say event sourcing config, or stored events config, something like this. And for now it's gonna have like a public array of projections. like this. And now we actually need an instance of this config. I'm like going over this very quickly. Like, I realize this might be a little bit weird if you're not used to Tempest. Stored events.config.php. We're going to return new stored events config. Actually, I want to rename stored event config. Okay, and then that's just the default here, and now Tempest will pick up on it. And now in our discovery, we can inject this private stored event config like this, and then we can say this config projections. We can add our class. Yeah, it can be like a var class reflector projections. It can be the class reflector. No, I mean, no, get name. It's better for caching. Let's say a class string of projection like this. And then for caching, we'll just have to serialize this config projections, and then over here we'll say this config projections equals unserialized payload. That's this is just, yeah, very complex Tempest stuff, but now it means that if we inject our this is our replay command, right? Our stored event config over here, private, like this. We're gonna use has console as well because I like that trait. It's not a requirement. So, and then we have to say private console. Yeah, like this. If we say, like, if all is well, now we should have an exception, of course. Hang on. Define the same property. Yeah. No, that's not a problem. In composition, however, the definition is such a stupid error. What's the problem? It should be read-only. But it is already read-only. What's the problem then? Okay, you know what? Don't worry about it. Let's remove the trait. I don't want to look into that now. Okay, so we actually have our projections here. And now, like with this discovery, Tempest will just like detect all models that implement projection. Basically, that's how that works. So that's nice. So that means that in our replay command, we just have an array of all projection classes, and it means that we can like do stuff with them. Okay. So for every event we want to replay. Do we actually need? I don't think we need all of this. I'm stupid. I'm stupid. I overcomplicated things way too much. Because what we can do here, we can just do this basically. Event. Let's import, please. Event get hang on. Stored event. Get event returns an object. Return. You know what we're missing? Hang on. Public string event class. And that's a pretty important one, actually. Event class like this, and then we'll say new class reflector over this event class, and we'll say call static. And serialize with this payload. And then we have to, of course, like change our table here, because it also, of course, needs text event class. That's stupid. Let's see here. Migrate and seed. Yeah. Stored events. Okay, now we also have the class here. That's a little better. Otherwise, we had no idea what to do with that. Okay, now back to our replay command. So we get event, right? Is class reflector a tempesting? Yes. It's just a wrapper around PHP's reflection API, because I really dislike PHP's reflection API, basically. And we need to do a lot of reflection in Tempest. So you get really annoyed with PHP pretty quickly if you have to do a lot of reflection. Yeah, so this is actually what I wanted to do. I just wanted to redispatch the event. Maybe we need to do like a little bit more. Yeah. Like, yeah. And then maybe actually we did need our... I'm just thinking, like, there are several ways of approaching this. Yeah, let's do it like this for now. So we're basically redispatching the event, which will store it again in the database, and you don't want that, because like if we now do replay, now we have where's 200 events instead of 800. That's not what we want, right? So we can't just redispatch these events. That's also a stupid idea. So maybe it's good that we have stored config event here. Let's rename this to stored events and rename this to stored event just for clarity. So we want to redispatch our events for all our projections. Let's just hard code it for now. We'll see how it works. So we'll loop over this stored event config projections as projection class, and then we'll actually like make a reflector for it. So class equals new class reflector projection class, because now we have some better methods here. Yeah, because we basically we want to like rebuild part of the discovery for it, but I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it like pretty hard coded. Let's do it like this. On what was the event called? Page visited. So, okay, no. Hang on. Visits per day projector. And implements projection. I'm gonna rename this to projector. Yes, that's better. That's cleaner. So then we have on actually on page visited. I'm just thinking about what the nicest way to do this would be. I'm gonna get rid. I need to get rid of this. No. I'm gonna keep it for now. Just hard code it, Brent. Hard code it. We can optimize later. Just focus on the goal now. Okay. On page visited. So what we want to do, whenever a page visited event is, I love the brain twist. So familiar. Yeah. Okay. Whenever a page visited event is dispatched or replayed, we want to like adjust our read model, which is represented by visits per day, right? And what we're gonna do for that, I think we need to check whether there's a visits per day row already for the given day? If so, we're going to update the count. Otherwise, we're going to create a new visits per day and then update the count. That's what's going to happen. Okay. So, day. Let's say row equals visits per day query where field and this is where, hang on, visits per day. I don't know, like in SQLite, the date field, will it contain a timestamp or not? We'll figure that out. Where field, what's it called, date? Where date equals page visited at, and then probably format year, month, day, something like this is my guess, but we'll see. First, yeah. If there's no, I'm gonna rename it to day. If there's no day, we're gonna say day is new visits per day with the date set to this. And visits 0. Oh yeah, we should do it like this. Yeah. And then we'll say day visits plus equals 1, and then we'll say day save. Okay. So that's already good, I would say. But now, instead of this being a projector, this sucks. We need to do a little bit more. First of all, this has to be an event handler, right, for page visited, because this also needs to happen whenever the event is actually dispatched and not just when we're replaying all events, right? Maybe let's already test that. So if we seed this, okay, I hope it worked. Yes, it did. But it didn't really. So it keeps the time. That's already a problem. Yeah. So let's say set time 000. Visited at equals page visited at set time 000. Honestly, this is something that Tempest should handle behind the scenes, but it's lacking. I think this should work. Let's try it out. Yep. Refresh here, visits per day. Okay, the time is right, but now my where doesn't work. Let's see where date equals date. That's what I guess, date. Visited at. Oh, yeah, no. Yeah, that should work, I guess. Okay, refresh. I don't have to. Yes. Okay, so this is what we need. And now we just need to make sure that whenever we replay our events, this works as well. Actually, maybe I do want my projector interface, and let's do it like this. This is a bit weird. It's a bit weird, but we'll figure it out. Project. Yeah. Implements projector. And we'll rename this to project. No, but that's not possible. No. Can't do this. Invoke. I'm just lazy. I should do this. Projects event. If I do this, then no, because I also need a way to reset. Hang on. Public. Yeah. I have an idea. Okay, hang on. Reset. Void. Yeah. And resetting means we're going to reset our projection here, or our projector, and that means just clearing everything. So visits per day. How do I do that? Query, delete. No. Didn't I add delete some? Visits per day, delete. Query. I thought I added a delete method. Yeah. Only on the model. Ugh, sucks. How do I implement that? Hang on. Let's do it like this. Okay, this is just Tempest lacking again. Page visited class. No, table. Visits per day. Brent, come on. Visits per day table. Delete from table. Just delete everything. What's the problem here? Yeah, I know that. That's the idea. Everything should be reset. So whenever we clear this projector, it's gonna remove all visits per day. Then we can rebuild it. Okay. So replay command. First things first, we're going to say this console write. What? Where's my this console? It's the wrong console, and that's why. Use this console. It's late. Ask. Well, confirm. Clearing class. Continue. Something like that. If not, confirm. Will continue. And then always hi. Okay. Replay. Nope. Object of class. Oh, class. Get name. Ooh. Of course. Clearing blah blah blah. Continue. No. And otherwise, yes. Okay, good. We'll also add a force middleware here. Middleware. Force middleware. Because then if we say force, yeah, okay. That's easier for testing. Okay, and then we'll say class call. Actually, we need an instance of the class. Let's just private container. That's the wrong container as well. Projection class, and then we'll say projector equals this container get projector class projectors names. And then we'll say projector. Oh, this is an instance of projector. I'll say projector clear, and then we'll have to redispatch all the events for this projector. So how would we do that the easiest way? I mean, I can redispatch the event and then do something without storing them again, but that's also a bit. Fair. We're trying it out. Hang on. Projector stored event, get event, catch, type error. Continue. Okay, and then this right line, okay, something like that, and then this success. Done. Okay. Let's say this right line event ID. Get events should. No, it doesn't have an ID, of course. It should have an ID, but I don't know what I should write here. Probably nothing. Or maybe a counter. Ah, you know what I can do? I can do, hang on, this progress bar, and then we'll say stored events function, stored events event, stored event. Oh no, I never will do all of this. Hey, good evening, Yogurine. Did you just join? We'll use this, and otherwise, it doesn't really matter. Should this work? Yeah. Okay. That's nice. That's good enough. However, we now have 200 events, but that's because I was still redispatching, right? No, 200. Why do we have 200 events? Hang on. Oh, we just have 200. No, we should have, hang on, seed. We should have 100 events. Uh-oh. It should be 100 events, right? Huh? Stored events. Why? Okay, but no, look, when I'm running fresh and seed, so nothing is replayed now. Stored events, 200 rows. So it has nothing to do with my replay. Am I dispatching an event somewhere? I know. I know what happened. That's actually an issue. That's a bug in Tempest. Is it a... Hang on. SPL get objects ID. I think that you end up like twice in this middleware. Oh, it's all the same object ID. That doesn't help. That doesn't help at all. Yeah, but So what happens is that the event bus event bus, come on. It will, let's see here, it will dispatch like for every event handler, and we have 2 event handlers now for page visited, one in the projector and one in the thingy. For every event handler, it will like call the whole middleware stack. So, and I can easily verify that, but let's make another one here. Just a simple event handler, right? And do nothing here. And now we'll have 300 events. Okay. So, how to solve that? Very easily, I think, with a UID. Is that a good idea? Like all events should have a unique identifier? I think that's a good idea. You can you assign the middleware to the event handler instead of the event bus? No, I don't know what you mean by that, but we can do this. Get UID. I mean, you need an ID anyway. You need an ID anyway on stored events. So I need this basically. Let's say private string UID, and let's say this UID equals UID 4 to string, like that, and then we'll say return this UID. I'm actually gonna rename it to get UID for now, right? So that's that, and then we can go to our middleware sort event middleware. And then we can check here, but then we're going to, it's not really the best. We could do stored event update or create. We could do it like this and say UID equals event get UID, and then we'll say payload. We're going to do like multiple queries that way. Don't really like that, but it's like for now it's fine. Event class, I think. And then we need to update our stored event, like to have public string UID, and there's no. Okay, so this can go. We don't need this anymore. Stored event table. There's no UID column yet, so that's kind of unfortunate as well, but it is what it is. Migrate fresh and seed. Okay, something goes wrong here. Integrity not null. Stored event created at. Created at. Yeah, because we didn't call the constructor event. No, it's just. Okay, so that seems to work. Now we have 100 rows. It's a bit slow now. So that's, and there are way better ways to solve this. But for now, it's fine. Like if you could, Joris is asking on Twitter, if you could define an array of middlewares in the event handler attribute, this way you could only assign it to one handler instead of all. Yeah, that's actually a good idea, but that's not possible. But this is what I was thinking as well, to have like, instead of a global middleware, just have one specific event handler that will store the event. We don't even need a middleware for that. Let's actually refactor that, because it's gonna store event handler. No. Just like this, public function on stored event. I don't know. Yeah, but this is not gonna work. Store, not yet, but it's also on the to-do. You cannot type it on interfaces here. You need like the specific event name. Otherwise, this would be, we could like move everything for our, let me actually check here, event bus, generic event bus. Yeah, see, we're like using the event name itself for the handler, and we're not doing any checks on, not yet. We need to improve that actually. So this ID will work, but I actually need to make an issue for that. Allow event handlers to handle interfaces. Yeah. Good evening, Charlie. Glad you're here. So let's actually like, let's see here. Let's go to our seed command. Let's see if it works. I'm gonna pick like between 0 and 1 days. Does that work? Yes. So stored events, we have a bunch, we have 100 events, that's correct. Page visited events with a UID and a payload. Let's see, for 2 days. Yeah, that's good. That looks good. And then we go to visits per day, and then yeah, I mean, this makes sense, right? It's not 100%. Shouldn't be 50-50. There's a little bit of randomness here, but this is our generated report. And now if we do replay force and we refresh this, it should be the same, and it is. So and like if we delete this this data, so it's empty. Now we can replay again, and oh, it's there again. Nice, pretty cool, right? And so the benefit is like, this is a read model. You don't update it directly, but the data is here just in an instant. You don't have to do any querying on like a page visit table, and you don't have to be afraid like if tomorrow I want to make a visits per month projector. That's seed with a lot more days now. So we don't have a visits per month hang on, let me we don't have migration. Let's just copy all of this. Oh, I need to copy them one by one. Visits per month, right? Visits per month, and then we'll say, yeah, date will be the same. Visits per month migration. Let's see, visits per month, and then visits and date. Yeah, that's all fine. And then the projector is the important part. Visits per month, like this. And we're going to set, this is the difference here, set date, page visited at get. I don't know how to do this properly with just plain PHP, so I'm gonna, this is like a total noob way probably, but format, hang on, year, and then the month should be month, and then the day should be 1. like to reset it to the first day of the month, right? And that's basically the difference. And if we now do replay, oh, there's an exception, of course. No such, oh, I need to migrate. So migrate, I'm not going to migrate fresh now, but just migrate up. Of course, there's an exception. Visits per month migration. No, not down. Up. Okay. Okay, we refresh now our migration, but this is empty, right? And then we do events replay. Yeah, two projections now, projectors, and there we are, like per month. And that just works. And so this counts all the historic data from the past as well. And now that we find, like, replaying takes a while, but now that it's here, it's just super fast. And that's the reason why you want event sourcing. One of the reasons, one of the benefits. So I kind of hacked some things together here. Let me see in my my replay command. This is pretty gnarly. I shouldn't do this. Maybe let me improve it a little bit, actually. Projector, let's say public function replay, object event, and returns void. And then we'll say our, actually, let's go to our projector. We have two projectors, right? Yeah. Let's add replay here. And then over here, we can have like a check. If event instance of page visited, then we'll say this on page. This is a little cleaner event, right? And then let's copy this to visits per month, projector. Oh, like this. That's a bit cleaner. And now we can change our replay command to, let's remove all of this and we'll say projector replay stored event, get event. That's better. Yeah. And we should probably also say this right, something like as printf m. Yeah, no, there was like, I don't know if this is gonna work. Hang on. Projector class. It does work. But we'll do a right line. Replaying. Okay. Like that. Is it just for fun? Why would you want to count it by replaying events instead of just firing single aggregating database query? No, okay. So for this case, it's just for fun. But event sourcing is like, it's really useful in cases where you have like large data sets and you want to, well, reporting is a pretty common use case for it. You want to generate a lot of reports based on that data set. But one of the requirements is that these reports will change in the future as well. So what you do is just you store like the event that happened with all the data that's available, right? And then you can like build these projectors, like view models, basically, like, yeah, as in not view models, but read models. Instead of write models, read models. You can create them on the fly. And once they have been populated, they will be very very performant because these are just like tables. They don't even have to be database tables. They can be rendered HTML pages. They can be PDFs. They can be images. The thing is that as soon as you have this read model available, like reading is free basically, because it's also like everything's pretty simple. Writing is a bit more expensive. But like let's refresh this page here, and I would suspect like this counter to go up. Yeah. And visits per day. Let's check here. This is today, right? Yeah. Let's refresh. And the counter goes up here as well. So that's pretty cool. So, but in like real life applications, what you're gonna do is like, you're not going to write your projections whenever like in the same request. What you're gonna do is just you're gonna dispatch an event to an async event bus, and it's gonna handle all these things behind the scenes. If you're used to Laravel, like via Horizon or something like that, or like a proper message queue, so that you don't notice any performance impact, but the data aggregates over time. Yeah. What are the IDs after you replay? Does the auto increment pick it up? Yeah, actually, no. IDs here should be changed to UIDs. Well, for projections, no, it actually does matter. You need UIDs here because IDs they auto increment. So in this case it doesn't matter, but yeah, you do want to actually wonder. Yeah, look at that. Now I have a graph of my data, basically. Nice. Yeah, been there, done that. It does matter once you reach the cap lol. Yeah. That's also a problem, right? Because like I'm storing one event, but real event sort systems, they store hundreds, if not thousands of events, because you're modeling your whole system, or you shouldn't actually model your whole system, but you're modeling parts of your system solely with events. So like you can imagine that a lot of events happen in a day on a website with multiple users. Let's say like one user doing a couple of things might already trigger tens, if not hundreds of events. Let's say you have thousands, 10,000s of users. You can imagine how quickly things get out of hand. I'm actually doing something, analytics.stitcher.io. So this is built in Laravel, but this is an event source system, and it is a bit slow. Like it's not super fast, but all of this data here it's looking at my server log, and then dispatching events for every like page visit that happened, and then it will just build different projections for that data. So different ways of interpreting the data. Like for example, this graph over here, it shows like a rolling average per day, grouped. A rolling daily average per month. I think that's the right term here. But it gives a good overview of like how averages on my blog, page visits per day, like how it evolves over time. And then over here it's visits per hour and visits per day. But all of this data here is just based on one single table with just, a representation of my Nginx access log. Does Tempest handle UID out of the box? No, not yet. And that's like kind of a problem. No. I need to edit. By the way, I need to like just make an issue for it actually. No, not a bug report. Support UIDs in ORM. I haven't added them yet, so stupid. But so all of that for a single one pager here. I don't know if I'm gonna use it actually. Well, yeah, I do, because I do want to have some insights in like basic analytics. But yeah. Which version of UID will you use? V4? Someone is asking that on YouTube, and then Joris is saying on Twitch, make sure to support UID version 7. It makes a huge difference on big writes. That's good. I need to, like, the last time I did like proper reading on UIDs is a couple of years ago, so I really need to get updated on it before I before writing stuff. Yeah. So yeah. Someone's saying here, Martirer, I don't know, on YouTube. We did use event sourcing supporting application BL, but to build reports, etc., we've had async processes utilizing huge database aggregating queries, etc. Almost never replaying that. Yeah, I mean, replaying here is already taking. These are 100 events, right? And it already takes a second. Imagine if you have millions of events. By the way, let's see here. Let's go to my production database for analytics. This has been online since I can visits per month. Let's sort. This has been online for 3 years now, and let's take a look at how many visits there are. Where's the total count? No, this isn't correct. Is this the right table? I think so. Visits, maybe. This is better. Yeah. So yeah, 3 million rows, which it's just a small blog, my blog, right? So I mean, 3 million page visits since well 3 years and a half basically. So and MySQL is just handling this fine for now. Actually, I'm not using UIDs here for the event. Oh yeah, but for the projections I do, right? I don't even use IDs here. No, because these projections actually they are keyed on the month. Like the month here is the primary key, and the day here is the primary key. So and I have a lot of projections: visits per hour, per month, per post per day, 7-day average, weekly average per day, stuff like that. Sessions per hour, per month, per day, and all of this data, it just comes from this one single table, and I can replay it if I want to, but it takes a while. It takes a while to replay this. Like it's essentially like 2.5 million events being replayed for every of these tables. So yeah. Charlie is saying here, it's wild that Tempest will have event sourcing and static page. Yeah, hang on a second. I'm not gonna add event sourcing for V1. No. This is just me playing around in a hobby project, because what I wrote here now in an hour, it is like it lacks so many features for if you want to do proper event sourcing. So yeah, but it's on the roadmap for version 1.4 or something like that. So yeah. Yogurine is saying here, the biggest tables at my work have tens of billions of records. We're dreading the thought of just having to re-index them. Yeah, sure. So when you're, and this is like a reality with event sourcing as well. You end up with a lot of events, and there are databases made specifically for event sourcing, right? Just to store that huge table of events, and to be able to, this is interesting, like the most well-known one is Event Store. I think I'm actually not sure, but this is the person who invented event sourcing made Event Store as well as like a paid product. and then they have like concepts. This is a specialized database for events, and they have like temporal queries as well, where you can easily query your event store with time constraints and stuff like that, and it's very, very powerful for reporting. So yeah, anyway, that's I actually wrote a little book about event sourcing once. It's a very interesting topic. So all of that being said, my one pager here is almost ready. I need to add a button here, but I'm waiting for Amazon to actually I submitted the book today, so it takes 72 hours, they said, before it will be published. It might be a little bit faster, I don't know. But when that happens, I need to properly style the page as well. That's another thing. but then I'll have like a one pager, which is super over engineered with event sourcing. But it's fun. It has been fun, right? So folks, I'm gonna leave it at that for now. It was really fun having all of you here, and everyone thinking along as well. That's really nice. I'm glad my kids didn't wake up, and I had a good time. I hope you enjoyed watching a little bit of Tempest as well. Like, there are a lot of things that need to be improved, of course, but it's a fun framework to build these kinds of things in, and pretty like frictionless, I would say. But that might just be because I'm more used to it by now. But if you want to check it out, you can go to let me actually share my screen once again, like tempestphp.com, and then you can join our Discord as well if you want to. Over here, more than welcome to join. We have a nice little community here of people, like 200. How many do we have now? No, little over 200. So yeah, thanks for being here, folks. Have a nice evening or day or whatever you're doing, and I'll see you in the next one. Okay, bye bye.